Welcome in, everybody. Ready for another deep dive?
Absolutely. Always ready to unearth some fascinating history.
Well, today we're diving into the House of Grimaldi, the rulers of Monaco.
Oh, the Grimaldis. They're more than just your average royal family.
Right. Just looking at the sources we've got lined up.
Let me guess, we've got some Wikipedia in the mix.
Of course. Excerpts on the family itself, and then on the Republic of Genoa, too.
Makes sense. Gotta understand those Genoese roots.
Exactly. And to spice things up, a super interesting article from Hello Monaco.
Ooh, that one is always a fun read.
It really is. And to top it off, a list of notable Grimaldis throughout history.
Sounds like we've got all the ingredients for a captivating deep dive.
So are you ready to uncover how this family climbed to power, their French connections?
Oh, and don't forget those succession dramas. They are wild.
Buckle up, everyone, because the Grimaldi saga is full of twists and turns.
It all starts in the 12th century with Grimaldo Canella.
The family founder, but not royalty at that point, right?
Nope, he was a big deal in Genoa during the Crusades, serving as a consul.
A consul, so already holding a position of power.
Exactly. And it's during this era that the seeds of the family's future are sown.
You mean their ambition to expand beyond Genoa?
Exactly. His descendants, they weren't content with just staying put. They launched maritime expeditions all across the Mediterranean.
Wow, so they were already making waves, literally.
They even reached the Black and North Seas. Think of the ambition that took.
So this is how they built their wealth, their influence.
All through those maritime ventures. And of course, that led them right into the heart of Genoese politics.
But Genoa in those days wasn't exactly a peaceful playground.
You got it. It was a hotbed of rivalries, constant power struggle.
The Grimaldis, being Guelphs,
Found themselves on the wrong side of the political divide in 1271.
and were promptly exiled from Genoa. Talk about a setback.
It makes you think, did that exile actually fuel their ambition even more?
Forced them to become even more resourceful, maybe.
It's like they had to think outside the box just to survive.
So they retreated to their castles, but this period really shaped them.
Oh, absolutely. And they didn't just sit back and sulk.
They even formed an alliance with Charles of Anjou, the King of Sicily.
Trying to claw their way back into Genoa, that's some serious determination.
But their exile actually leads them to a new opportunity. Monaco.
Okay, so this is where the story gets a bit legendary.
Lay it on me.
It's said that Francesco Grimaldi, disguised as a friar,
A friar, now that's sneaky.
managed to capture Monaco in 1297.
Wow, talk about a bold move.
Historians debate whether it really went down like that.
But it's a great story nonetheless.
It really captures their strategic cunning. Think about it, Monaco.
Prime location, right on the Mediterranean.
Perfect for keeping the pressure on their rivals back in Genoa.
So instead of fading away, they get a foothold in a brand new territory.
And this is around the time we start to see Grimaldi branches popping up everywhere.
Wait, so it wasn't just a straight line from Grimaldo to the rulers of Monaco?
Nope. You had different branches gaining power in places like Antibes. Nice.
A real Grimaldi family tree spreading its roots.
But the branch that snagged Monaco, they become the main line, the one we know today.
And how do they finally cement their rule over Monaco? Wasn't it a bit messy at first?
Oh, yeah. For much of the 14th century, it was this condominium situation.
Condominium, like a timeshare, but for ruling a territory.
Huh. Not quite, but you get the idea. They had to share power with other families.
A medieval power sharing agreement, wow.
Definitely not a smooth ride, but by the end of the 14th century, they finally get full control.
So exile, power struggles, even timeshares. The early Grimaldis had it rough.
For sure. And then things take another big turn in the late 15th century.
What happens?
Provence, the region around Monaco, becomes part of France in 1486.
So now the Grimaldis are right next door to a major power.
Think of it like moving to a new neighborhood, gonna make new friends.
And those are the kings and queens instead of your average neighbors.
Exactly. High-stakes socializing. Right. And the Grimaldis, they adapt brilliantly.
They were smart cookies, weren't they?
They start marrying into French nobility, getting estates in France, even living in Paris.
Wow, so they're becoming part of the French elite.
And it's not just social climbing, it's a smart political strategy.
I bet having powerful French allies came in handy.
Especially with their history with Genoa. It's all about security, leverage.
You're right. It's like they're playing a game of chess, always thinking several moves ahead.
And this French connection, it has a ripple effect through history, even impacting the modern Grimaldis.
Ooh, now I'm really curious. But before we jump ahead,
Yeah.
you mentioned the line from Grimaldo to the modern rulers wasn't so straight.
Ah, you picked up on that. That's where things get really interesting.
Okay, spill the tea. Who are the Grimaldis we see in those fancy magazines today?
Well, the Grimaldis of today, those glamorous figures, they're not direct descendants of Grimaldo.
Wait. You're telling me there's a Grimaldi family secret?
Not a secret exactly, but definitely a twist. You see, the modern line actually descends from a different family.
Hold on, so the real Grimaldi line ended somewhere along the way.
It did, and it's a fascinating tale of how the name, the legacy, became the most important thing.
So who are these other folks who took on the Grimaldi mantle?
They're the Goyon de Matignon. It all starts in 1715 with Louise Hippolyte.
She was a Grimaldi, right?
The last heir of the original line, yep. And she marries Jacques Goyon de Matignon.
And he takes the Grimaldi name to keep the dynasty going.
Exactly. A name change to maintain the image, the power, the legacy.
So the royal family of Monaco, not pure Grimaldi blood for centuries. Mind blown.
See, history is full of surprises. And it wasn't just the Goyon de Matignon either.
There's more.
Oh, yeah. Later on, the Polignac name gets woven into the family tapestry, too.
Through marriage.
You got it. When Charlotte Louvet, who ended up as successor to Monaco, married Pierre de Polignac.
So the Grimaldis of today, they're like a mix of different families, all under one banner.
And they faced their fair share of challenges to their claim over the years.
Like what? Rival claimants popping up?
In 1911, things got really tense with a succession crisis involving a German prince.
A German prince wanting the Monaco throne. How did that even happen?
His name was Wilhelm of Urach, and it threw everything into chaos. The French president at the time even threatened to annex Monaco.
Annexation, that's serious.
It shows how intertwined Monaco's fate was with France's interests.
So not just family squabbles, but international intrigue too.
Absolutely. And this wasn't ancient history either. In 2018, a Grimaldi cousin.
A cousin? You mean someone claiming they were the rightful heir?
Exactly. Louis de Camalso, he sued France, said his family was cheated out of the throne back in 1911.
Wow. So these succession dramas, they really highlight how complicated power and lineage can be.
Even when you think it's a simple monarchy, there are always layers beneath the surface.
But let's not forget, there's another side to the Grimaldis, beyond all the power struggles.
Right. These weren't just rulers sitting on a throne. They were individuals with their own stories.
We've got this list of notable Grimaldis, and some of these names are surprising.
Like Girolamo Grimaldi, a cardinal who, believe it or not, had 5 children before joining the clergy.
A cardinal with 5 kids, that's not something you hear every day.
It's true. And then there's Elena Grimaldi, immortalized in a Van Dyck painting.
A real glimpse into a different era.
These figures show how members of this family made their mark on art, religion, politics.
It really paints a picture of their ambition, their diverse interests.
They weren't just content with ruling Monaco, they wanted to leave a legacy.
Speaking of legacy, what about the rulers who shaped the Monaco we know today?
Like Charles III. He ruled from 1856 to 1889, and he had a real knack for business.
He did. What kind of business ventures are we talking about?
Well, he was the one who recognized Monaco's potential as a tourist destination.
So he was the mastermind behind Monaco's transformation into a playground for the elite.
He was. And his most brilliant move, establishing the Monte Carlo casino in 1863.
Wait, so the Grimaldis are responsible for that? That's a game changer.
It was. Charles III understood the power of attracting wealthy visitors, and the casino took off like wildfire.
I guess you could say he hit the jackpot with that idea.
He did. It quickly drew in the European elite, solidifying Monaco's image as a place of glamour and excitement.
So it wasn't just about ruling a territory, it was about creating a brand and experience.
Exactly. And let's not forget, the Grimaldis weren't just about casinos either.
You're right. Albert III, who ruled from 1889 to 1922, he was a passionate oceanographer.
His legacy lives on today with the Oceanographic Museum of Monaco.
It's incredible to think that this family was involved in such diverse fields.
From casinos to oceanography, they really did it all. And then, of course, there's Rainier III.
The one who married Grace Kelly, that was a fairy tale wedding.
Iconic. It brought Hollywood glamour to Monaco, capturing the world's attention.
It definitely put Monaco on the map for a whole new audience.
Rainier III also followed in his father's footsteps, modernizing Monaco, overseeing expansion.
He literally grew Monaco's footprint. That's impressive.
It's a testament to their ability to think long-term, to secure Monaco's future.
So from casinos and oceanography to Hollywood and expansion, the Grimaldi family really covered it all.
And now we have Albert II, continuing the legacy in the 21st century.
And he seems to be taking on the mantle of environmental stewardship.
He's been very vocal about environmental protection and sustainability.
So they're not just about preserving their own legacy, but the planet's future as well.
It shows a sense of responsibility, of recognizing the challenges facing the world.
And they've embraced technology and social media, like those pictures of Prince Jacques and Princess Gabriella.
They're adorable, and it's a smart way to connect with a wider audience.
It shows a different side of this royal family, a more human side.
They're not just figures of power and tradition, they're a modern family navigating the 21st century.
Speaking of family, we've talked a lot about the princes, but what about the women of the House of Grimaldi?
The Grimaldi women, they've played a crucial role too, but often behind the scenes.
So they weren't just standing in the shadows.
Not at all. They were shaping the dynasty in their own ways.
Like how?
Well, Princess Grace, for example, she was more than just a Hollywood star.
She became a symbol of Monaco, didn't she?
She did. She used her platform to promote Monaco, its culture, its charities.
And Princess Caroline, Albert II's sister, she's also been very active in philanthropy.
Especially in the arts and culture, she's really made her mark.
It seems like the Grimaldi women have always been a force to be reckoned with.
They've been patrons, supporters, ambassadors, shaping Monaco's image and legacy.
So it wasn't just the men ruling from the throne, it was a team effort.
Exactly. The Grimaldi dynasty, it's a story of ambition, survival, and adaptation.
They've faced their share of challenges, but they've always found a way to come out on top.
They've embraced change while staying true to their heritage.
It's a fascinating story, and it's not over yet.
Who knows what the future holds for the House of Grimaldi? One thing's for sure, they'll keep us guessing.
Well, on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into the House of Grimaldi.
Thanks for joining us on this journey through history, intrigue, and a touch of royal glamour.
And if you're feeling inspired to learn more, don't hesitate to do your own research.
There's a whole world of Grimaldi history out there just waiting to be explored.
Until next time, keep those minds curious. So we've followed the Grimaldis from Genoa through exile to finally snagging Monaco.
But their story doesn't end there, not even close.
What about the Grimaldis we see today? You know, the ones gracing magazine covers.
That's where things get really interesting. You see, the modern Grimaldi line...
The one we associate with Monaco's glitz and glamour.
Exactly. They actually descend from a different family altogether.
Wait, seriously, so not all Grimaldis are true Grimaldis?
It's a prime example of how dynastic history can be a bit messy. The modern line, they're descended from the Goyon de Matignon.
Going to Matignon, that's a mouthful. So how did they become the Grimaldis we know today?
It all goes back to 1715 with Louise Hippolyte.
She was a Grimaldi, right?
The last heir of that original line. And she marries Jacques Goyon de Matignon.
So he takes her name to keep the dynasty going. That's a pretty big commitment.
It was, but it was about more than just a name. It was about preserving the legacy, the power, the image of the Grimaldis.
Wow, so the royal family of Monaco, not pure Grimaldi blood for centuries. Mind blown.
It's a great example of how sometimes the name and the legacy become more important than direct lineage.
And it makes you wonder, what does it even mean to be a Grimaldi today?
It's a good question. And the story gets even more tangled. Later on, the Polignac name gets added to the mix too.
Wait, so they brought in another family name? How did that happen?
Through marriage, of course. Charlotte Louvet, she was later legitimized as successor to Monaco.
Okay, so she had a claim to the throne.
And she marries Pierre de Polignac, bringing that name into the Grimaldi fold.
So the modern Grimaldis, they're like a blend of all these different families.
United under the Grimaldi banner. It's fascinating how they've adapted to maintain their rule.
Makes you wonder if all royal families have these hidden family trees.
Oh, I'm sure there are plenty of surprises hidden in those royal lineages. But back to the Grimaldis, their claim to Monaco wasn't always smooth sailing.
Oh, I bet. There must have been some challenges along the way.
More than a few. In 1911, a full-blown succession crisis erupted.
Ooh, juicy. Tell me more.
It involved a German prince, Wilhelm of Urach.
A German prince with eyes on the Monaco throne. That's unexpected.
It was a real mess. The French president at the time saw this as a threat, even threatened to annex Monaco.
Annexation. Wow, things got serious.
It shows just how much Monaco's fate was tied to France's interests.
Makes sense, given their close proximity in history.
Exactly. And it highlights how those succession dramas, they weren't just family squabbles, they had international implications.
So it wasn't just about who had the strongest claim, it was about political maneuvering, too.
Always. And speaking of drama, remember that Grimaldi cousin who sued France?
Oh, yeah. Louis de Causson, the one who claimed his family was cheated out of the throne.
That's the one. 2018, that lawsuit really shook things up.
Talk about a family feud. I guess even in a modern monarchy, those old claims can resurface.
It shows how those historical events, they can have long-lasting consequences.
Definitely adds another layer to the Grimaldi story.
It's not just about glamorous parties and royal weddings, it's about power, legacy, and those age-old questions of lineage.
Makes you appreciate how complex these royal families really are. But let's shift gears a bit.
Yeah.
We focus on the power struggles, the drama.
Which is pretty captivating, I admit.
It is. But there's another side to the Grimaldis, beyond just rulers on a throne.
Right. They were individuals with their own passions, accomplishments, scandals even.
We have this list of notable Grimaldis, and some of them are really intriguing.
Like Girolamo Grimaldi, a cardinal. But before taking holy orders, he fathered 5 children.
Wait, a cardinal with 5 kids. Now that's a story I need to hear more about.
It just shows these were real people with complex lives, defying expectations.
Definitely not your average historical figures.
Yeah.
And then there's Elena Grimaldi.
Immortalized in a Van Dyck painting, a glimpse into a whole different era.
I love those little windows into the past. It really brings history to life.
And what about the rulers who shaped the Monaco we see today? Charles III, he had a real vision for the principality.
He did. In what way?
Well, he's the one who saw Monaco's potential as a tourist hotspot.
So he's the one who started transforming Monaco into a playground for the rich and famous.
You got it. And his biggest gamble, establishing the Monte Carlo casino in 1863.
Wait, the Grimaldis are responsible for that? No wonder Monaco is synonymous with casinos and glamour.
It was a brilliant move. Charles III, he understood how to attract the wealthy elite, how to create a brand for Monaco.
And paid off big time. Monte Carlo became the place to be seen.
Exactly. But the Grimaldis, they weren't just about casinos and luxury.
Right. We can't forget about Albert the Surth, the oceanographer prince.
He was passionate about marine science, and his legacy is still alive today with the Oceanographic Museum of Monaco.
It's amazing to think that one family could have such diverse interests and achievements.
From casinos to the depths of the ocean, they really made their mark.
And then, of course, there's Rainier III, the prince who married Grace Kelly.
That wedding, it was a fairy tale come true, bringing Hollywood glamour to Monaco.
It was a media sensation. The whole world was watching.
And Rainier III, he continued the work of modernizing Monaco, overseeing expansion projects.
Literally expanding the territory. That's incredible.
It shows their commitment to securing Monaco's future, both physically and economically.
So from casinos and oceanography to Hollywood and expansion, the Grimaldis really did it all.
And now we have Albert II carrying the torch into the 21st century.
And he's a big advocate for environmental protection, right?
He's been very vocal about sustainability, even establishing a foundation to support environmental initiatives.
So they're not just concerned with their own legacy, but the planet's future too.
It shows a sense of global responsibility, something that's become increasingly important in the modern world.
And they've embraced technology, social media, even those cute pictures of Prince Jacques and Princess Gabriella.
It's a smart way to connect with a wider audience, to humanize the royal family.
It shows that even though they're royalty, they're also a family navigating the same world we all live in.
Exactly. And it's a reminder that the Grimaldi story, it's not over yet.
Who knows what the future holds for them? But I have a feeling they'll continue to surprise us.
They've certainly proven they can adapt and thrive, no matter the challenges.
Speaking of family, we've talked a lot about the princes, but what about the women of the House of Grimaldi? What roles did they play in shaping this dynasty?
The Grimaldi women. They might not have always held the official power, but their influence was undeniable.
So they were more than just pretty faces at royal events.
Oh, absolutely. They were forces to be reckoned with. Take Princess Grace, for example.
She was more than just a Hollywood icon, wasn't she?
She was. She used her platform to promote Monaco, its culture, its charities.
She really embraced her role as princess, becoming a symbol of Monaco itself.
Exactly. And Princess Caroline, Albert II's sister, she's been a powerhouse too, especially in the arts and culture scene.
So the Grimaldi women, they were making their mark, but often behind the scenes.
They were patrons, supporters, ambassadors, shaping Monaco's image and legacy in their own way.
It really is a family affair, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Grimaldis, they've worked together, adapted, and ultimately thrived for over 700 years.
It's a testament to their resilience, their ability to evolve with the times.
And it's a story that continues to unfold even today.
So who knows what the next chapter holds for the House of Grimaldi?
I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. We always think of Monaco as this tiny, glamorous principality.
But their size, it's been a double-edged sword for the Grimaldis, hasn't it?
You think so?
It makes them vulnerable for sure, but also gives them control.
I see what you
Yeah.
mean, like they could adapt quickly.
Exactly. It's like running their own little kingdom, but one that's still on the world stage.
They've had to be shrewd to maintain their independence, though, right?
Especially with big neighbors like France. Strategic marriages, alliances, economic innovation.
Speaking of innovation, they've turned Monaco into a hub for business and finance,
And that's been key to their success.
attracting the wealthiest people, companies.
They realized they couldn't just rely on tourism or those limited
They've
resources.
had to think bigger.
Diversify, and they did a remarkable job of it.
It's like they created this unique blend of luxury, business, international relations.
Monaco's allure, it's undeniable, and that's thanks to the Grimaldis.
And they haven't shied away from globalization, technology, even social media.
You're right. Remember those photos of Prince Jacques and Princess Gabriella on the palace balcony?
So cute. They're little social media stars.
It's a way to connect, to humanize the royal family.
Show that they're a modern family living in the 21st century like everyone else.
Exactly. And let's not forget their philanthropic side.
Right. Princess Grace, Prince Albert with his environmental foundation.
Using their platform to make a difference.
Leadership isn't just about power. It's about responsibility.
And the Grimaldis, they seem to get that.
We've talked a lot about the princes, but what about the women of the House of Grimaldi? What were their roles?
The Grimaldi women. They were incredibly influential, even if not always in the spotlight.
So more than just princesses attending fancy events.
Much more. Think of Princess Grace. She wasn't just a Hollywood star.
She was a symbol of Monaco, wasn't she?
Exactly. Promoting the culture, supporting charities, cultural institutions.
And Princess Caroline, Albert II's sister, she's been active in philanthropy too.
Especially in the arts and culture.
It's clear the women of the Grimaldi family have played a vital role in shaping Monaco.
They've been patrons, supporters, ambassadors, leaving their mark on the world stage.
So we've covered a lot of ground here today, from those Genoese beginnings to the rulers of modern Monaco.
Their connection to France, those strategic alliances, their ability to adapt and survive, it's remarkable.
And who could forget those succession dramas?
They really add some spice to the story.
It's a reminder that even royal families have their fair share of complications.
Absolutely. But what really stands out to me is their longevity, over 700 years.
It's incredible. They've weathered so many storms.
Navigated complex political landscapes, held onto power through it all.
They've evolved with the times, haven't they? Balancing tradition and progress.
Exactly. They've embraced modernity while staying true to their heritage.
This deep dive has been fascinating. I feel like we've only scratched the surface, though.
That's the beauty of history. There's always more to discover.
The Grimaldis, they remind us that history is alive, always evolving.
And we're all part of that evolution in our own way.
Well said. And to our listeners, if you're feeling inspired to learn more about the House of Grimaldi,
Don't hesitate. There's a wealth of information out there.
who knows, you might even uncover something we missed. That's the joy of exploration.
There's always more to learn, always new perspectives to find.
On that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into the House of Grimaldi.
Thanks for joining us on this journey through history, intrigue, and a touch of royal glamour.
Until next time, keep those minds curious.